Hey everyone, and welcome back to another chapter of The Darkened Night, written and art by me, Stacey Holt. I want to give a big shout out to my friends and co-workers, also known as my voice actors. They're all amazing, and they're all listed below. I really appreciate it if you guys could check them out. In this chapter, however, Diz will be voicing Adrien and Cat Noir, TitaniumKitten will be voicing Luka and Plagg, Yasmin will be voicing Zoe, MerryMitch will be voicing Nino, Marin will be voicing Alya, and I'll be voicing Marinette, Ladybug, and the narrator. Anyways, back to chapter 7. Cat Noir held Ladybug tight, hoping his actions were letting her know to not make noise. If he wasn't badly hurt, and in this situation, he knew Ladybug would not be happy at how close he had pulled her. He was physically shaking as the figure took another step forward. Her long, black hair almost pierced the darkness itself. Cat could feel the evil surrounding her. The sound he had heard previously were the scissors scraping along the metal parts of the walls, more than likely the handrails if he had to guess. She must have been using the sound to find potential victims in the dark. Hearing them run from the sound or even bumping into things where she could find them and then sink the dreadful scissors into them. If this accusation was true, that meant she couldn't see in the dark. That might have been why she would never attack them head on, or both at the same time. She was at a disadvantage as well. She stared at them in the darkness. The tense feeling of knowing she was looking right at them made Cat Noir want to flee, or even scream. But he held his tongue. He needed to know if his accusations were correct. He needed to help Ladybug. She seemed like she was the brains of all the operation, but this time, he would shine. It was his turn in the spotlight. Suddenly, the figure turned her head away, not seeing Cat Noir and Ladybug, only a few feet away. His accusation was correct. She didn't see them. She couldn't see in the dark. Perfect. As the metal scraping sound faded, so did his grip on Ladybug. He finally let out a heavy breath, like he had been holding it the entire time. Ladybug also let out a breath, turning to him for answers.
She was just here. She didn't see us. She can't see in the dark.
Cat whispered in the dark, hoping that was a good enough explanation for his actions. Is she still here? Are you okay? How's your side? Ladybug whispered back.
I'm fine. Don't worry.
He reassured her, but the first question made his blood run cold. Was she still around them? Were they safe? To be honest, he didn't know. Saliva got caught in his throat as he swallowed, wondering the same question. He needed to creep over to the wall, turn the corner, and check. Ladybug couldn't do it, as she couldn't see in the dark. He was the key piece here. That the pain rising from his side caused him to face reality. He could die. He apparently had died a lot of other times, but didn't look at it in the same perspective. Now, though, it was hitting him straight in the face. Or side. Not only could he die, but Ladybug could die as well. If that were to happen... No, he couldn't think that way. They always win. Ladybug and Cat Noir always win, no matter what. He needed to think that way. He would sacrifice himself over and over for his partner, just so they could win. He would go down fighting for her, every time. No questions asked. He would literally die for her. Ladybug touched his shoulder, which finally brought him out of his thoughts, and he looked at her. She gave him a worried look, assuming she was worried about him, which was understandable. He was Cat Noir. He was her partner. He couldn't let her down. He couldn't let anyone else in the hotel down. They would fix this. They would fix everything. They were Ladybug and Cat Noir after all. Dying was not an option. It had been in the past, but he could not do that to her again. She shouldn't have to burden herself with him dying because he was reckless or putting himself in danger to lead people away. He needed to be smart about this.
I'm going to go check and see if she's anywhere near us.
He whispered. As Cat walked closer to the wall, he heard footsteps quickly approaching them. He tensed up, thinking it was the figure again. But he thought it was weird that there were multiple footsteps approaching, and he hadn't heard the figure's footsteps sound like this before. He turned the corner, peering around stealthily, making sure he couldn't be seen. Though when he turned the corner, he was met face to face with Luka, Zoe, Alya, and Nino. They all must have found one another amongst the darkness, Screaming and the killer. Overall, he was just glad they were all safe. Ladybug took out her yo-yo and used it as a light source for the time being, helping to illuminate themselves as well as their surroundings. She crept over to Cat Noir and peered over him to find the frightened teens. Everyone saw Cat Noir and Ladybug, smiles filling their once terrified faces. Though once they saw the state of the heroes with the help of Ladybug's light, their hopeful, happy faces turned to worry and terror as they found their beloved superheroes covered in blood and were extremely hurt.
Chat Noir, are you okay? You're bleeding!
Alya's hand flew to her mouth in worry.
You look so pale. Are you two alright? Ladybug, you and Cat Noir are covered in blood.
Zoe asked.
Ladybug, Cat Noir, what's going on?
Luka asked, hoping to find some clarity within the mess they were involved in. Calm down, guys. I stitched Cat Noir up. He's practically good as new. Also, this is just his blood that kinda got on me in the process. We're fine. Ladybug smiled faintly, knowing what she was saying was all a complete lie.
See? You said it yourself. I'm fine.
He smirked, acting as if he had finally won the argument. Though they both knew he wasn't brand new. She was keeping an eye on his wound, and it was growing by the second. He was still bleeding immensely, not normal for a regular stab wound. She was surprised he hadn't passed out. If they weren't out of that hotel by the next hour, Cat Noir would be in grave danger. He might pass out from blood loss or worse. She couldn't think of that possibility right now. What she needed to focus on were the things she could do then, not what could happen later.
But yeah, we're good. We actually have some good information on the lady.
Cat chimed in. Let's all go somewhere more private. It's not safe here, Ladybug interrupted, hearing a distant metal tapping coming from behind them.
Where should we go?
Nino asked. Anywhere but here. She's coming. Hurry, Ladybug instructed. They all agreed and found themselves on a new floor. What floor? They didn't know. It was hard to see anything in the darkness, though they didn't care as long as the lady wasn't there with them. After they scanned the halls for any sight of her, they all came back with no trace. They let out a sigh of relief once the hallway was secure. So, what happened? Start from the beginning, Ladybug asked.
We watched as our friends were killed. No matter what answer they gave, the outcome was the same.
Alya explained, her face reacting to something she was imagining, or reliving in her mind.
Answers? You mean the question, am I pretty?
Cat asked.
Yeah, we saw Rose and Julika get stopped by her in the hallway. She asked Rose if she were pretty. Rose said yes.
Luka explained.
The lady then removed her mask. It looked like she carved her face with scissors she was holding, from ear to ear. It was horrific.
Zoe continued.
She asked Rose the same question. Am I pretty now? Rose hesitated, but reassured her that she was beautiful. The lady then used her scissors and carved the same ear-to-ear smile on Rose.
Alya said, frightened.
My little sister, Julika, she
Luka stuttered, trying to voice the right words.
stood up to the lady once she asked her the same question. As soon as she said no, she plunged the scissors into her.
Zoe comforted Luka, trying to get him to calm down, but that was in vain. Luka had seen his sister die. Nothing could make tonight better.
Please say you'll help us.
Nino pleaded, holding Alya tightly.
Of course we will. Ladybug will take you to safety. I'll find her and cataclysm her scissors.
Cat walked closer and smiled as confidently as he could with the pain he was enduring. Cat!
LB, take them to safety. I'll destroy the scissors and...
No! Her sudden outburst caused him to stop mid-sentence. Everyone went silent and turned to her. Cat Noir also turned and saw her face almost holding back tears. Was she about to cry? Alright, that is the end of this chapter, chapter 7. Chapter 8 will be coming out momentarily. Sorry about the hiatus, but really needed to get some life stuff sorted out. But I really appreciate you guys coming back and finishing all these chapters with me. I am super looking forward to it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys!